Dozens of tanks and other armoured vehicles, along with artillery guns, helicopters and drones will be used. The Ministry of Defence said the action had been long planned but was enhanced after Russia invaded Ukraine. The Ulster Union's councillor Ryan McCready served in Ukraine in 2015. He has trained soldiers in the country. He's with us this morning. Hi, Ryan.
Good morning.
Let's then talk about these British troops heading to Europe. What sort of military action will they actually be taking part in, or will it be just be training and movements?
Now, these are largely exercises, and precedent has been set. So even from 2015, 2016, the UK Operation Op Cabrit already deployed around 1,000 soldiers in around Lithuania and Estonia. But the difference now is this has been bolstered significantly up to 8,000. So when you break this down, Finland will get a squadron of Challenger tanks to tie in with the Finnish battle group, which is a joint expeditionary force. And in Estonia and Latvia, it's bolstered by a further 2,000 troops, which will consist of the Royal Welsh armoured battle groups and indeed the Royal Tank Regiment. But also there's around 18,000 NATO or other NATO members which will be bolstering that troops. So these are significant. And there's a planned exercise coming up now in the summer in Poland, which was Exercise Defender. That's a further 1,000 troops by another 11 members of NATO, but they'll be deploying from the likes of Germany, UK, and you mentioned about North Macedonia. This is critical. This is a big change. 16 air assault brigades. That includes support helicopters like the Chinooks and the Apache attack helicopters. This is real significant numbers we're seeing. Nothing has been seen there since the Cold War era.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, what people will be asking. It was a long-planned operation, but enhanced, and you maybe get the impression that it's quite significantly enhanced as a result of what has happened in Ukraine and the Russian invasion. But all the same, it is them going in to defend NATO allies and not to fight it in any way. So, what is the point of it really? Is it just to show solidarity and to show a show of strength, really?
Well, that's what the MOD came out and said, along with I think it was the Defence Minister recently. So yes, it is to stand in solidarity, but it's pre-positioning. It is saying, look, we're starting to increase the numbers on NATO borders in response to the full-on invasion of Ukraine by Russia. But it's not just military escalation or to meet the escalation. It's actually in tandem with a diplomatic move, which is equally as significant. The UK's ambassador, Melinda Simmons, she's actually returned into Kiev and the UK's embassy. That's a huge diplomatic move, and that tied in with the exercises in the NATO neighbouring countries. It's saying to Russia, look, we're not going to take anything which comes further to the west.
In terms of training, that's something you were involved in 2015. How important is that? What sort of training will they be providing? So
the training was actually back in 2015 and 16. That was a separate operation called Operation Orbital. That was a UK-led operation which looked at the training, advising, assisting, and everything from basic infantry skills, medical skills, navigation, right the way up to the ground sign awareness to look at improvised explosive devices or minefields.
We should say, actually, shouldn't we, that this is after the invasion of Crimea, the annexation of Crimea in 2014, so that was part of it. Sorry, carry on.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Everything which has been done has been in response or to match the escalation of what has went on since 2014 and 15. But that type of training activity, which took place for several years, has actually built resilience and built capacity within the armed forces of Ukraine to put up the huge, valiant fight that they have done. So, they have exceeded expectations. And when you consider what they looked like back in 2015, it was something you would see from the 1990s. There were outdated equipments, military materiel, and their tactics was Soviet-era Union. But now, here in 2021, 2022, they are a real fighting force, and they've proved that on the battlefields, not only in eastern Ukraine, but in the likes of Mykolaiv, Mariupol, outside Kiev, and Kharkiv and Kherson. It's impressive.
Good to talk to you. Thank you for being with us. Ulster Union's councillor Ryan McCready.